perhaps the reason why we are confused and suffering and this kind of thing is because we don't understand ourselves. We don't sit with ourselves and really just be with ourselves, get to know ourselves, right? We don't really get to know ourselves. Like, think about this. If you're in a relationship, a partnership with somebody, a romantic or intimate relationship or whatever, in order for the relationship to work and in order for it to, like, be something that's good, you give your partner attention and presence and understanding. You seek to understand them, and you want to give them attention. It's not like, oh, I need to. It's like, I want to give this person my attention. I want to give this person my presence, my full focus, and I want to understand this person. And you also want to be seen. You also want to have their attention on you, and you also want to be understood by them. So why do we not do that with ourselves, or why do we not do that with just our direct experience? Because it's possible, man. Like, when you're locking eyes with your partner, you feel like this love, and you like emanating this love, and you're like receiving this love. Well, can you do that with reality? Can you stare at, I don't know, a tree, for instance? Can you stare at a tree and give it your full undivided attention as if it's your beloved, and like give the love to it and receive the love from it? I think what I'm trying to say here is that in this culture and society, I think we've been really never been taught to love ourselves in the same way that we all the movies that we see, all these romance movies and whatever, and it's like intense passion and intense love. It's like, why don't you do that for yourself? You know what I mean? Why, in say like a relationship, do you go out of your way to please the other person, to give gifts to the other person, to help the other person, to make a cup of tea for the other person? Why do we do that but then neglect ourselves? We should be giving ourselves that same love, And so enter into a relationship with yourself. Just like if you wanted a relationship to work, an intimate romantic relationship to work, you would want to know what the person is feeling, how their day has been. You'd want to make sure, they're fed, they got some food and all this kind of stuff. Well, ask yourself these questions, Actually sit with yourself and ask yourself, how am I feeling? And listen to yourself. Give yourself that full attention and loving presence. And listen, and maybe what comes up is like, I'm feeling kind of shit right now. I'm feeling scared about this and that. I'm feeling I'm feeling doubtful. I don't know if I can do this or that, and whatever comes up. And you give yourself that loving presence and you listen. And you offer love and advice and comfort and reassurance and encouragement. Like, why do we not do this for ourselves, man? And look, you cannot expect to enter into a romantic relationship and expect things to work out if you can't do that for yourself, you know. And I'm actually really grateful for my ex-partner because, you know, they really taught me what love looks like, you know. And it really showed me what that feeling of love. And with them out of my life now, it's like, you know, I know what love is. I know I've experienced it. And so I can give that to myself now. I can be my own beloved now. I can be in a relationship with myself, you know. And this may sound fucking weird and cringe, but it isn't, man. I mean, we all go around thinking, talking to ourselves in our own head. We all have a relationship with ourselves because we have to. That's how we function. You have to have multiple voices, multiple parts within yourself to converse and to figure out how to best function in the world. All these parts in yourself need to come together and work together in a harmonious way to figure out the best way to function and move about in the world and decide what to do and all that kind of stuff. And so it's just, you know, yeah, who you are fundamentally is like not any of those voices, not any of those parts. Who you are is like this kind of awareness, aliveness, but nevertheless, it's like, in order to operate in the world, it's useful to have the view of, yes, I am a self and I have all these parts. And it's like, do you want all these parts to be arguing with each other and to be like spreading hate with one another? Or do you want them to come together, connect with each other in a harmonious, loving, compassionate way? And this is really what we have not been fucking taught to do in life. And it's sad that this is the case. And this is why people are miserable, because we don't love ourselves, you know? And then we go out looking for another person, a partner, to come in and give us that love. And then we become dependent on that person, and then suffering occurs because then we get resentful and bitter because this person can't always fulfill the love that we need. We have to be our own beloved, man. We have to. And I'm not saying you don't need a partner, you don't need a relationship, but you do. I think you do have to be fine with never being in one. You have to find that love within yourself. And of course, like, yeah, having a partner, having someone else that can reflect back that love at you is a beautiful thing, man. Really beautiful. But I think also, you know, you have to be okay with just yourself as well. So love is really really like the solution to all your problems. It's an issue of self-love. All the issues you have is an issue of self-love. So all like the frustration or suffering you have, all the parts, all these things that happen inside of you that you don't like to happen, and you push them away. Pushing them away doesn't help anything at all. It actually exacerbates that part of yourself. You know, what you resist persists. You have to start treating all these parts of yourself as like, you know, your inner children, And they're all just reaching out, crying out for your own loving attention. And all these parts that are crying out for your loving attention, they're doing so because they have never got the loving attention that they need. Maybe all these parts of yourself that are thriving, these parts did get the loving attention from mainly your parents and from, you know, your peers, the friends around you, from society, from your teachers. But society is constructed in such a way that it doesn't allow everything. It doesn't accept everything. And so there's so much within you that is bottled down, pushed down, because you don't think that it's acceptable, because you've been taught to believe it's not acceptable, and you live in a world where everybody's reinforcing and promoting this idea that here's what's acceptable and here's what's not acceptable. And so it's very difficult to start giving love to these parts that are quote unquote not acceptable, because you are stepping outside society, and that's a lonely thing. And your social identity will change, and you could be perceived as someone that you never want to be perceived as. You could start being perceived as like this stupid person, this unhinged person, this homeless person, this all this kind of stuff, you know, because once you start accepting these parts that society doesn't accept, it's I think you understand what I'm trying to say. What's been interesting in my own experience is that it's like, I've always wondered, like, where do I belong in society? What kind of tribe do I fit into? And like over the past like year or few months or so, it's like what's seemed to be the case is it's like the tribe that I fit into is the tribe of no tribe. It's like all these loners and outcasts in society that you see. These are the people that I actually connect with, because these are the people that are outside society. And so, you know, I'll be talking to these like homeless people, or these raggedy looking people, you know, and it's like these are all the outcasts of society, because they don't, do you know what I'm trying to get at? And so where we relate is that we relate that we both know that like this society is fucked up. But what you also see is that these people are the most loving and compassionate people. These people are the most sensitive people and the most honest people. But what's sad is because what's so sad is that because they're so sensitive and honest and can see what's going on, it's so painful to see that, and it's so lonely to see that most of these people enter into addiction and kind of throw away their lives because they can't get past that phase. But I feel like I've gotten past that phase. You see, I used to be addicted to alcohol and weed and just have addictive tendencies to all this shit. And it's because it's so fucking painful to be outside society and see how all this shit is operating. But there is a way to learn how to actually operate in society but not be of it. Be in the world but not of the world. Be in society but not of society. And you don't have to be addicted, you know. So these people like on the street that you see that you're kind of scared of perhaps, and you're like, oh, these people are like different and strange and like, you know, like the reason why people walk past like homeless people or walk past just these like very like free spirited drunks or whatever, the reason why people are very afraid of these people is because to interact with them, your own ego gets destroyed, because to interact with them, you come face to face with all these social constructs and beliefs within you, and it's like so like jarring, you know. Like that's, you see, the only reason why like we fear people at all is because we think they're different. We fabricate this kind of identity and project it onto them, not realizing that it's the same being. You know, we have all these like stereotypes in which we project onto people, and it's like, oh, this person's like that person's like this. But when you actually like look in their eyes and get to know them, you see the same loving presence within them that's within you and within all beings. And yeah, some are very traumatized, you know, but it's still there, man. So I think that's all I got to say for today. So, love yourself, man. Love yourself. And if you're feeling confused or alone, or you want to talk about this kind of stuff, come join our online community, The Truth Playground, where we support each other with this kind of stuff, awakening and whatever else, and where we get some guidance and grow together and just have a community where we can be real with one another about this kind of stuff, you know. And yeah, get in now because it's free, but in a couple of weeks or so I'll be switching it to a paid monthly membership, so get in now while it's free. So thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy your day.